This is my Google Pixel Fold. I've had this phone for 8 months now, and I wanted to make a video to check in to show you guys both how it's holding up and also how I feel about the phone after 8 months of owning it. You see, recently I haven't been using this phone. I've been testing out the Google Pixel 8a, which is the cheaper phone that Google makes, a more affordable option to people who don't want to spend as much money on a phone and just want to buy something that's solid and will probably last them a good while. Pretty much the exact opposite of the phone that I'm holding here. This is, after all, the most expensive phone that Google makes, and even though it's on sale right now for $12.99, it's still far more expensive than the vast majority of phones out there. Given its high price tag and its more modest chip, you have to wonder if this is a phone you can buy without regretting it later. While the Pixel Fold has been my main phone for the last 8 months, there are a couple of other Pixel phones that I like to use. The Pixel 8 Pro's camera is slightly better, so that's the phone I tend to use when I'm making videos, and then the Pixel 8a is just a much nicer phone to have when I'm on the go, or if I'm going somewhere where I could possibly damage my Fold, or benefit by having something cheaper and lighter with me. Don't get me wrong, as far as foldable mini tablets go, this phone is very easy to carry around, and very easy to use one-handed. But you also don't always benefit by having a phone that unfolds into something bigger. After all, this is something that you use more for leisure time. This isn't really something that you need on the go. In fact, it isn't something that you really need at all. While smartphones have become somewhat of a necessity today, this phone is very much a luxury. And like many luxuries, the cost of ownership is high. Not just to purchase, but maintaining and repairing a phone like this is going to cost a lot of money, especially if you plan on having it for more than a couple of years. Not to say that this phone is specifically fragile, but folding phones in general just don't last as long as your standard slab phones do. It's because of this that I recommend only buying a phone like this if it's on a really good discount. You could also look at buying a phone used, especially if you know you're not going to have it for as long, but just be careful because if you buy the wrong phone from the wrong person, you could end up having to spend all of your savings on a costly repair bill. I've heard of some pretty terrible experiences when it comes to getting this phone repaired, and I've also heard it can be very expensive. Luckily, I haven't had any bad experiences myself, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time. In terms of durability, this phone is not very durable. In fact, looking at its ratings, it actually has no officially tested protection against dust or any physical particles. That's what the X means. Not that it doesn't have any protection, but it hasn't been officially tested. As for water, it's actually pretty good. I mean, the water is an 8 rating, which is better than the Pixel 7a. A lot of people are saying, it can be up to 3 meters or over 1 meter. I'm just going to go ahead for this phone. I'm going to say that you probably shouldn't submerge it past 3 feet deep. Especially if it doesn't have an official rating against dust. I would imagine that it would be very easy for water to get in between like the hinges and maybe cause some damage. But it can be in a meter deep of water for 30 minutes and it will be fine. Then of course, you have a plastic OLED screen that will wear out. This isn't a matter of if. This phone will wear out. It's plastic, it's folding. Friction will wear it down. It will not last forever. I've had very good luck with mine, but there are a lot of people who have had rotten luck with theirs. Luckily, I haven't gotten to the point of it breaking, but if it does, I want to talk about what my options are. Now, when I had Samsung Z Flip and I called them saying, hey, there's an issue with my inner screen and it broke, they told me to go to a U-Break iFix. I called a couple nearby, found out which ones had the parts, and then asked when I could come in to get it fixed. It was always a first come, first serve, so it wasn't always perfect. There were days when I got there and I didn't get my phone fixed, but every time I turned in my phone, I got it back the same day, and it was always good as new whenever I got it. While I've seen mixed experiences online with a lot of negative experiences of people who have broken their Pixel Fold, I haven't gotten there yet. I've had this phone for 8 months now, which is about the same time that the Z Flip 3 and 4 had problems with the inner screen, but so far so good. I do think that this phone will last a little longer because it is a foldable, so when I'm opening it, it's only when I want to use the bigger screen. I don't always need to use it. When I had the Z Flip 3 and the Z Flip 4, I always had to open it up if I wanted to look at anything because I didn't have a big cover screen like I do here. Even when I do start to experience issues with the inner screen, I expect that I'm going to be able to use the cover screen in the meantime. So you may be wondering, why even bother with the Pixel Fold? I mean, after all, there are a lot of other Pixels out there that work just as well and deliver a very similarly great software experience. Even I have to admit that when I switch my SIM card between these 3 devices, I don't really notice a lot of differences in my day-to-day. Well, except for the screen time. When I use the Pixel Fold, because it's so much more enjoyable with that large inner display, I find myself playing a larger variety of games on here, especially when I have a longer period of time to play those games. Obviously, on busy days, I don't want to take the Pixel Fold because I don't want to be tempted, but having a device like this is really cool. To just pull it out of your pocket and you have a 7.5-inch screen that you can play all of your favorite games on, games that you've been playing for a while, but never as big. And when you're tired of that, there are a lot of other great things to do on this device as well. Even when it comes to just consuming media and entertainment, the posts are larger, the words are larger, everything is bigger, which is the whole point of this phone in the first place. It also helps that this phone has a fantastic camera on it. So good that sometimes I use it to film videos instead of using my Pixel 8 Pro. It just has a very good camera. It may not be quite as powerful as the Pixel 8 Pro, but it's very close, and since it does have Photosphere and some other features on it, it's still a very fun camera to use. And when it comes to taking photos, I never feel like I'm compromising when I'm using this camera instead of my Pro phone camera. It's for that reason that the Pixel 8 Pro never really leaves my house. I only ever take out the Pixel Fold, or on occasion, the Pixel 8a. Now I want to be clear, there is nothing the Pixel 8a can do better than this phone. The Pixel Fold is all around a much better device. But I know that personally, I would be a very grumpy boy if I went out and I lost or broke this phone, whereas if I lost or broke the Pixel 8a, I would at least be glad that it wasn't the Pixel Fold. Largely due to the higher cost of this phone, but also because this is my favorite Pixel device. It is by far the most fun phone out of all the Pixel phones. And I don't regret getting this Pixel for a second, because in my opinion, it's the best one. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about these phones, folding phones in generals, and the Pixel devices. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing the Pixel Fold 2. I know I'm definitely going to do whatever I can to get a hold of it so I can show it to you guys, even if that means maybe, I don't know, having to sell or trade in my other Pixel devices. I just don't think that these phones are going to be as much fun as the next one will be. Thank you guys again. I look forward to interacting with you in the comment section below. And yeah, like and subscribe if you can. I will see you next time. Later, taters.